Okay. Yeah, we're live. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You think Russ is good again? No, not. I mean, he didn't really play good tonight. The Steelers have scored one, like what, two offensive touchdowns in the last two games? Not really. I think a good quarterback would have won that game tonight. Like, I know they're 8-3 and they're probably going to win that division. That is not a fun team to watch. That is not a fun team to watch.
I trust this will suffice.
God smiles upon the generous.
What to pick?
I'm just incredible.
Right? Hmm? Hey, listen.
now? All right, then. Let's go.
Young man. Say there.
Blast this heat!
Isn't this grand?
Now what am I to do? In such an exquisite...
I see.
It's you. Just imagine it. In such an exquisite world.
Although,
Yeah. Beauty always wins.
Let's give it a shot.
all right.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was stupid, but man, I feel bad for Arthur Smith. He can't get a real quarterback no matter where he goes. I feel bad for him. He turned Ryan Tannehill into like an elite quarterback, and then he gets stuck working with like Desmond Ridder and Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Like he's going to get run out of the league because he can't get a real quarterback. Like not even like a really good quarterback, just like a normal quarterback.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer. At last.
Got it? All right. Things will be fine. Yep.
Sharp soldiers all. They carry themselves with more poise than Martira's guards.
They comprised the most elite unit of the military until Luis's secession. Now they are his private guard.
I don't see Luis. Those brothers, all that songstress. But this many people here means the runner's got to be all but empty.
Shh, they're here.
Glad you made it. Could stand to loosen up a little.
Yeah, Winston had a fun game, man.
Not so wound up.
Well, you have
I
to admit,
appreciate it, you know.
company is more than a little intimidating.
You'll get used to that. You'll have to if you want to survive. Hey, pups.
Oh. Where's that Ishkia man? The lanky old chap with the glasses.
He's keeping watch over our gauntlet runner.
What? Don't feel safe leaving your gauntlet runner empty? As you like, I suppose.
I don't see that songstress, Juna. Is she not coming?
Ah, she's under the weather. Poor girl went and lost her voice. Not many others could refuse an invitation from Lord Luis and live to tell it.
You're looking forward to having another chat with her, eh? What a shame. Zell got a bit droopy about missing her, too.
God's sake, Baz, belt up.
There he is!
I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Please, enjoy yourselves. As new comrades in arms, I expect you to. Now, while the drinks in their cups have yet to reach their heads, let's get the formality of introductions out of the way. Friends, today we welcome a most emboldening addition to our ranks. Doubtless you've heard of the young candidate who brought great shame to Sanctifex Forden. Before you stands the young man himself. Indeed, I was much surprised to learn he brought that sanctuarist forward with the intent of winning my regard. Commendably bold. Now, let us greet our new allies with warmth and pride.
Count Luis will be king.
Oh, these young firebrands.
Count Luis will be the king our land deserves.
The rest of the night is yours to drink in. Enjoy the party.
Go. We'll take care of the rest.
Hey, new boy. Slow down. Wouldn't be wise to snub a ranking officer now, would it?
Well, look who it is. The only blowhard who showed up to the competition with a head smaller than his own.
You little red-eyed! You want to say that again?
Was that really necessary?
All right.
Doesn't Tomlin have some really atrocious record against terrible teams? Like the Steelers always lose to like 2-win teams or something. They always like don't show up for these games that are supposed to be really easy.
All right. Look. Ah! Ugh.
Stop! Yes.
Yeah! No way! Oh, good.
Now we just keep up the charade as long as we can.
Might I have a moment, please?
They lost to the Colts, and the Colts are okay.
Stroll, if I recall. I've heard you're a titled noble. Yet you stand behind a commoner candidate.
I stand with a candidate who's proven he has power and potential. Besides, I'm a noble in lineage alone. My house no longer stands.
Where are you from?
Have you heard of a village called Harlia?
Certainly. It was the first village to be destroyed by the human menace.
Only because help never came. They requested reinforcements, but the army wouldn't spare a single soldier. Are the rumors true that was by your decision?
That is true.
But why?
To save this country.
Stroll!
The Fool King and the fossils of the Sanctus Church refused to face the threat looming over this country. An adequately dramatic demonstration was required. They say you could see Harlia burning as far as the palace battlements. Confronted with that balefire, those old men could no longer deny the human threat.
Your balefire cost hundreds of innocent lives.
Do I offend you? Are you repulsed? Surely it helps you realize that you can protect nothing without power. The natural blessings you enjoyed are not infinite. Few have the luxury of living with no need to struggle and harm just to survive. But our nation would have you believe such hardship is born of moral weakness. So the punished are punished further. They die in silence like livestock. Their reality denied. It defies reason. All people deserve the chance to fight for their lives with their lives. Some will fall, some will triumph, and therein is true equality forged, however cruel. I am not one to stand idly by as history is wrought. All their sacrifices, and yours, shall not be in vain. A valuable conversation. I do hope you enjoy the party.
Stroll.
Humblest apologies. He's a young heart and hasn't yet learned to temper his words.
No worries. Truth told, I'd take him over the sycophants.
That brat's nowhere to be seen. Where'd he slip off to? He couldn't have. Let's go have a look around, Hector.
What?
Oi!
Oh no! Oh no!
Phew! Close one. What was that? The floor suddenly tilted. Whoa!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think Pittsburgh is guaranteed anything. Their schedule gets really hard.
What's going on?
Philadelphia is probably going to beat them. They're
That soldier
much better than I
was
thought.
freaking out about some effect from a magma crystal. Maybe this is it.
But I think that's going to be good enough to win the division. Baltimore's not very good.
That helped a lot. Oh. What do we do? Huh? Did you? Hmm? Here we go. Gangway!
Alright, we are playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Oh.
No, no, no! This isn't happening!
Will you yield?
Okay. Here we go. Gangway!
This is
No, no, no!
not what I wanted.
Isn't happening!
I see. In the end, a dream is...
Okay. Here we go. Gangway! I knew it!
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
No, no, no! This isn't
Hey, Reggae.
happening!
I see.
Okay. Here we go. Gangway! I knew it! Look at that! All right! This is no good.
Yet.
Whew. And yet... Let's hurry. Okay? Incredible. Check this out. look. Hang on. Huh? Look! But why would Luis? Look! That's the same novel that you have! It's a forbidden text. So there shouldn't even be many copies left.
That's impossible.
Do you think Luis is actually reading this? If so, it doesn't seem like he's really getting its message. Wait, in there! There's a hidden box. Yes, magic formulas! But which one has the prince's curse? Oh, forget it! We'll just take the whole box!
Killer!
What are you doing here?
I was asked to run an errand.
By who? And what would you be fetching from here? Hey, didn't you just come out of the storage room? What were you doing in there? You're that fairy from before.
Count Luis gave me permission to come and go as I please in his private quarters.
Hey, didn't I hear you had a sore throat or something? They said you lost your voice, but you sound fine to me. Uh-huh. I get it now. You snuck in this room last time too, didn't you? Wow, you're a real repeat offender.
I'm really losing my touch. So, remember how I said I'd keep my eyes on you? Well, I have to say, I like what I see.
Hey, get away from him!
I don't suppose we could keep my little investigation secret. I'll keep quiet about you too, now that we're accomplices.
I don't plan on ratting you out.
I do love a smart man. So, your little cohort cases the place first, leaving you to slink in once you've got the brief. Pretty sharp.
Hey, I'm not just a little cohort. I have a proper name, and it's Gallica.
Gallica? Your name is Gallica? Wait, does this mean... So you're here for...
Someone's coming!
Well, well. The occupant's absent, but the door's locked. I see why the guards are in a panic.
There's no use hiding. This is quite a turn-up, isn't it? The runtime might have figured for a rat, but even Milord's favorite little songbird? What a scandal! And when he hears it from me, maybe I'll finally get some recognition around here.
Everything's falling apart! What do we do?
I think he's gone. If he'd stayed, he could have trapped us here. Thank goodness he's as stupid as he looks. I'll take care of this. Just listen close and act fast. The box you found contains the formula to the curse. I knew it. We both know what you're here for, right? Take what's inside and leave.
Who are you? What are you?
Let's survive now. Talk later, shall we?
She told us to run, but we can't just leave her. I say we go after her.
Your attention, everyone. Assembled comrades, let us speak of the old vulture's last grasp at power. The tournament for the throne. It hardly bears saying that the competition is a farce. It is a transparent conceit of the Sanctus Church orchestrated to win Forden the throne, for all who bristle at their hubris, and indeed for the sake of the public. This hollow pageantry must be put to rights, once and for all. And it shall be done by my hand. I hereby announce my formal entry into the competition.
But my lord, Forden would surely never allow you to enter the race midstream.
Why would I care for his permission? The late king's decree was that the crown would go to whoever had won the people's trust, not whoever indulged the church's sideshow. I will enter at my leisure. Should he deny me, Forden will be rightly denounced as the coward he is, and lose the nation's faith. Then all will know he was never the one in control. For all that we believe, and all that we have proven, we shall bring their own dogma down on their heads.
All hail Lord Luis! We got one sanctoress strung up. Now let's send Forden to the gallows.
He's entering the competition?
Even knowing it was rigged, there's still a lot he could get out of it. He's just been biding his time all along.
Luis.
Unfortunately, I am told we have a rat in our midst, sniffing for morsels at our esteemed colleagues' heels. Wretched rat, if you stand among us tonight, you may tell your master this: I will neither run nor hide. If you think you can stop the rule of power, then come and try.
Luis will be king! Hail King Luis!
Go and see who is absent from the soiree.
On it.
They're going outside.
Not good. They're bound to check the gauntlet runner. We've got no choice but to chase and stop them.
Oi, new bloke. Didn't hear you shouting Count Luis's name loud enough. Come now, let's hear you cheer with your gut, eh?
Out of the way. I'm busy.
At this rate...
Hey! Del! Look! The Caradrius is airborne!
What? Why? You hear anything about a takeoff today?
With its owner out? Impossible. The rat's behind this. You know what's been on my mind? I want to know who took out Zorba. Wouldn't catch me dead sharing drinks with him, but he weren't some half-wit. If it was the Cathedral Guards, they had help.
Think the rat nipped him too?
Lord Luis has plenty of new friends hanging about. I wouldn't be surprised if some think they're clever. And me, I'd start with those stooges who cast all their magic without igniters.
Whoa, Del, eyes up. It's coming down.
Secure the perimeter. Anyone so much as blinks, the orders to kill on sight.
Whoa, Del!
This is no good. Hurry! Ready? We don't have time.
What now?
Ready? Mm-hmm. Was that? Mm-hmm. No.
I told you to run. You're too soft.
Behave now. I'd hate to stick you through that precious throat of yours.
You
No, I didn't expect you to actually bother to come. The songbird baited the trap nicely after all. I suppose that settles it. The rats were working together. Must be quite a story behind this. But more importantly, time and time again, you dragged my name through the mud. And now look who's the traitor. Oh, I'm going to make this hurt. Hector, come.
Hector? Wait, that's your dog? You mean he transformed at your command? That animal's been corrupted by melancholia, and still you tamed it. Gladel, why did you hide such an amazing talent? Isn't taking hostages a bit beneath you?
What? Don't you dare patronize me! You think I don't realize it? I'm not strong, I'm no towering Rassant war hero. All I've got is my wits, damn you! How could I win a rigged game but through foul play?
Foul play?
And now, I'll wipe those arrogant smiles off their faces. I should be the man being served and worshipped. Me! No one else! And yet every time, I watch them surpass me in everything I did. That bastard Luis included. There's been thorn after bloody thorn in my side, but that all ends today. I'll offer you up on a silver platter, and one day, the world will know me as its rightful ruler.
Oh my, you're pathetic.
I told you to shut your damned mouth! Go, Hector! Don't move. That goes for you too, fairy. Unless you'd rather see her pretty little neck bleed.
What do we do? Right now, all we can do is make it through this. If we're not careful about this, Juna might...
Spectacular! A fitting end for a pack of rats. Get them, Hector!
No. Isn't there anything we can do?
You like that? Who's your king now? I am!
Yeah, I think Vance has a very clear path to being the nominee. I can't imagine it being anybody else right now.
You let your dog do your fighting. You're such a disgrace. He has no pets here. So what's the matter? Are you too scared to fight him alone?
A duel? Have it your way. Come then, we'll do this right. I am Gladel, and you will kneel before me as your king. So, who are you to me?
I am the one who would save this country!
Well, that worked better than I expected. This is bad. That guy is near the top of the candidate rankings. That means the royal magic will make him invincible to us.
You have the right of it. You fell for it. She brought you straight to me. Now I have you, and I'll ensure your suffering is long and painful. But see reason. Juna, if you take my side, I might be persuaded to spare you. Am I not worthy of your affection? I'm more of a man than that bastard Luis could ever be!
Over my dead body! I am Juana's sickness. I am no one's trinket. My life is my own to protect, and I will accept nothing less. What? It worked? Well, you're not invincible.
Damn you! What's going on here?
Let me help.
I don't think Kamala's going to run.
Me from the start. You and your friends. You call it an archetype, right?
What?
I thought as much. Surprising, though. I'd written them off as a myth. Not even my sister got close. Still, now that I've seen their power a few times, maybe I can do it myself.
Very well, O lodestar who wanders in sorrow, O thou anguished traveler who hath borne the weight of parting from the start. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities become thy light. Thou art the brilliant star that shall illuminate the King's Road. Now, awaken.
Look at me. What you see now is my commitment to my song.
I think DeSantis's presidential dreams are done. I don't think DeSantis is ever going to be a presidential candidate again. He doesn't have any charisma.
Behold, my voice rises from the depths of my heart.
And Vivek is not going to appeal to a wide enough tent, I don't think.
How does she have the same power? She's just a damn singer!
Never underestimate a singer! Every song is a burden, the weight of a lifetime. I have sung 1,000 songs. I've known their power my whole life. Whereas all you've ever been is a lackey. My music is lost on you. Listen and learn!
Do it! Chew them up! Tear them limb from bloody limb!
I see. So this is the power of an archetype.
And yeah, I mean, DeSantis's presidential campaign last year was pretty fucking bad. I don't know if he comes back from that, especially because Vance is definitely going to get Trump's endorsement, which means that it's pretty much automatic that he wins the nomination. Like, Trump owns the whole party now, and he's going to endorse Vance almost for sure. Yeah, DeSantis is going to run for the Senate seat in 2 years. That's almost certainly what's going to happen here. And maybe he springboards that into running for president, but he's got to run for the Senate. He's got to win the Senate seat first.
All it takes is a change of mask, and I can be whatever I want. Poetic, really? Especially for me. That's just as well. You can lend me your strength too.
This isn't the kind of thing you can just imitate. Do you know about this power?
Not much. It's been a while. Now, I hope you've had your fun, because you're about to pay for it in full.
Shut up! Just shut up! I'll crush you with my own hands! A duel, then. You can die together.
Fine. You want a brutal fight?
I will be right back, everybody. All right, everybody, we are back.
And he's about to get one. Let's give him hell! Gale! Hit their weakness. Don't let him down.
Lend me your strength.
He's rising!
No, I won't hold back. Burn!
I'll show you. Howling wind!
It's okay. We can do this. I will fight with pride. I'm all prepared. Fire!
With me now, Hector!
This is just what I need!
Gale! You hit their weakness.
The power of he
Don't
come
let him
forth,
down,
royal
Judah.
soul. We can do this.
Thank you. Watch me! Howling wind!
Death to all traitors!
Burn!
With me now, Hector!
Behold this power!
Gale! Hit their weakness.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Don't let him down, Judah.
Fire!
This is just what I need! Howling wind!
My star is rising!
With healing power.
Thanks.
Stay strong, Hector!
Well, that's annoying.
Watch me!
Gale! Hit their weakness.
Let's go.
Don't let him down, Judah.
We can do this.
That helped. I call upon a royal soul!
Death to all traitors!
Flare!
Hector! Damn it! Damn you all! Die!
This'll be a mass dancer!
Burn!
Sorry, my mistake.
I am your rightful king!
with healing power.
Thank you.
I'm here now.
Welcome aboard.
Raging fire.
How you doing tonight?
Okay.
All right.
We can do this. Fight us power. We're not out of this yet.
Been a pretty interesting day. Jameis Winston actually did the thing.
Oh, don't spoil anything else for me. I gotta check.
See, when you say Jameis Winston did the thing, that could mean literally anything.
Yeah, it could mean he raped somebody again. Um, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception.
No, he had a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown.
Oh. I was just looking at the passing stats.
Yeah, he beat the Steelers in a snowstorm. It was actually a lot of fun.
How about that?
Not bad. I'll strive for greater heights.
I like how the Steelers put Justin Fields out there every now and again still. Even though they have no intention of using him long term.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
My life, I beg you.
Also, LeBron is a noob.
Dalton Connect is like really good. The Lakers actually got a really good rookie in this class, but it's not Bronny.
Well, yeah, and that's what's upsetting is that, you know, it's really funny because not just a lot of the players, the young players on the Lakers that are good are white, but this is the really crazy thing. As time goes on, more and more of the most elite players in the NBA end up becoming white guys. And man, black people are fucking pissed about it.
Yeah. Something to be said about that.
No. I'm the future. I can't.
And you know what my own personal theory for that is?
Mm-hmm.
Even guys who are born in literal Africa, like Embiid, still when they have enough basketball potential, they all get shunted to the same basketball academies where even before they end up in the NBA, their life has already gotten better. And it's like, you know, it just comes back to that simple eye of the tiger thing. You know? If you had to ball out to get yourself out of the ghetto, not just yourself, but your whole family, too, you actually have incentive. But if you never actually had to struggle because the minute that you shot up to being like 6'9" when you were 8 years old, you were fast-tracked for a future career in the NBA before you even know what poverty actually was.
Luis's private quarters. Must have gotten in with all the confusion of takeoff, I suppose.
It's a whole generation of guys who are soft.
Right. Anthony Davis has 30 points and there's still 8 minutes left. Man, he is going off this year. He is balling.
And right. And it's definitely crazy, you know, because, like, think about it. Back in the day. Imagine if Twitter, as it exists right now, was available back in the 80s and 90s. Could you imagine guys like Jordan or Kevin Garnett doing like what Kevin Durant did? And Katie's not even alone. Fucking Deshaun Watson doing the exact same thing. All these guys. They make stock puppet accounts. Hey, man, lay off. He's doing the best he can. All that kind of shit. It's like, could you imagine for even one fucking second Rasheed Wallace doing that on Twitter?
Yeah.
No shot.
Right? And why did the bloody thing take off like that? We could hardly believe our eyes.
Oh, well, you know me and my indulgences, boys. Perhaps I got a bit carried away, but we're in Brilhaven. I simply had to see the night view over the...
Anyway.
So, Bob Casey finally conceded, so that's over with.
Thank heavens. That means the recount's never going to happen either, right?
It started, but it was adding to McCormick's totals, so he gave up very quickly.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
And also, recounts only ever add like a couple hundred votes. Like, you're not going to do anything significant with a recount, ever.
Not only that, but the real thing to consider, in the last 10 years, I don't think a single recount has helped the Democrats. It has only ever helped the Republicans. People say some shit like, Elon beamed votes into space using Starlink somehow.
Yes.
And then the recount helps the Republican. Oh, look at all these votes that were actually suppressed. Oops.
Crikey, Lady Juna, I'm sorry. Sounds like you've had a right awful evening.
Many such cases.
But yeah, you were probably at work and you probably didn't even see this go down, but there was a point at about 1:45 where there was like an incident at Mar-a-Lago where there were a bunch of ambulances.
Oh my.
But after a few minutes, it was reported that they were just the ambulances that were part of the J.D. Vance's motorcade. So for a few minutes there, it looked like something bad maybe had happened.
Hold on. You were supposed to be at the...
That would be why on Twitter, pray for President Trump was trending.
Yeah.
Why? One would think you don't believe us, Fidelio. I'm wounded. You truly doubt me.
But yeah, there's a lot of speculation right now over the Matt Gaetz stuff. Very interesting. A lot of different theories.
I don't care if this was the plan all along. And instead of DeSantis getting that seat, it's going to be Gaetz.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I really wanted him as the Attorney General. Because
Yeah.
I was promised that Gaetz, as the Attorney General, was going to politically prosecute Trump's political enemies.
The thing is, Pam Bondi might end up doing that as well. Because she's been in Trump's camp ever since the very beginning, 9 years ago. And she was one of his lawyers during the impeachment trial. And she's been there for a while. So it's possible that she ends up doing the same thing. But it does suck. Because according to reports, he was only 2 votes shy. There were 5 Republicans that refused to consider voting yes on him. So literally two votes short.
Well, he still could have done the recess appointment.
Yeah, he could have done that, but maybe he doesn't want to burn all of his political capital on that. Especially if he feels like Pam Bondi is going to be just as good, which is possible.
And if the Senate hates Gaetz now, just wait until he's actually a senator. But if that's the case, what does DeSantis do? Because I thought he was going to use it on himself.
That was always on the table, but it was never a guarantee. He might just run for the Senate seat in 2 years. He might pick somebody for that seat that'll just be like there for 2 years to hold the seat warm. And then he'll run for the seat in 2 years because he can't run for governor again.
Fair enough.
The good news is this implies that everyone else is going to get confirmed.
Well, no, just...
Suppose that means the rat was Glodell? Lord Louis said we got a traitor in our midst is all. We came by thinking to catch him.
Is that so? Well, hadn't you better report back?
Oh my
Make what
god.
we can of this party together.
My mom is begging for me to give her the food that I got for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just so hungry. And I'm like, fuck you.
He gave me such a thorough
She woke up 2 hours ago, bro.
He took good care of my throat, my tongue, my lips.
He, you.
Can she not go get her own food, or what?
Apparently not. Like, fuck off. Like, really?
If you'd come a bit earlier, I might have asked you to do it.
Really? Hardly matters to me.
Anyway, I'd say this bears reporting. Let's leave the guards to their cleanup and get out of here.
Yeah, unfortunately, it sure looks like now that Mitch McConnell's not the Senate leader, he is going to be a pain in the ass at every possible opportunity for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeesh, looks could kill. Scary.
So Glodell was our rat, was he? And he's already been executed?
Afraid so.
The two of them were the only ones who left the soiree early. Sounds like Glodell overstepped, and Lady Juna and the new lad had to fight him down.
Or it could have been the other way around.
Too right. Dead can't speak, after all, and we've no other witnesses to the scene.
Now hold on.
Glodell was a right prolific candidate. We know the king's magic protected him.
So your weekend's basically started now, right?
Yes.
Well, have fun.
Yay.
In an unexpected and surreal turn of events, Shinji's pants inexplicably fall to the ground. I love that.
Man, I hope that's real. I know it's not, but I still really hope.
It would be nice.
Based. Jesus fucking.
Their story goes that he attacked
What's
them
wrong?
and got petrified to death for it. If that's true, the boy would have to have the stand-in for it.
Rubio's gonna get a replacement appointed by DeSantis. It might be Matt Gaetz. It might be Laura Trump. DeSantis could appoint himself. Those are the most likely outcomes here, but there's going to be an election in 2 years for that seat, and DeSantis is probably going to run for the seat himself in 26.
That fact is no longer in question. I received a report a short while ago. They say your face has emerged on the King's Rock. It appears your stunt with the Sanctoress earned you some renown.
Hey, good for you, pup.
And that's how the magic got to Gladell.
One wonders what you stopped Gladell.
I'm about to lose my fucking mind, bro.
You okay?
Who knows? We were hardly in a position to ask.
All I wanted to do was get myself food to celebrate that I got my transfer. Because I hated that job, and I hated the commute. She's just fucking screeching at me now so much that I want to just grab what I got, put it in my car, drive to the dumpster, and just fucking toss it all. And say, great, now nobody gets to have it. Thank you for ruining yet another fucking day.
Okay. Austin, he would probably pick somebody who would not run in 26. He would pick somebody to be like, just hold the seat for 2 years, and then I'm going to run in 2 years. And even if he couldn't find somebody who agrees to that, if DeSantis runs for that seat in 2 years, he's going to win it. Like, he's extremely popular in Florida.
No matter. Forden has been kind enough to whip the people into a frenzy over this race. I'll step in and reap what he so graciously sowed.
Yeah, I saw that, Big Country.
From here on, you will serve as my eyes and ears.
Understood.
Let us see what scheme Forden devises for the next task. Until then, you may take your ease in the city.
No, I'm pretty sure if 26 is a special election, then whoever wins holds that seat for 6 years.
Oh, and with Gladell out with the rubbish, might I promote him to the role of my chauffeur?
Are you serious?
Is it so strange? He does have his own gauntlet runner. In fact, I'd better go make sure it's up to my standards.
Let her do as she pleases.
What's wrong, Del? Looking a bit green around the gills.
Gladell was an ambitious man, yeah, but is that enough to justify him looting Count Luis's personal quarters? What was in it for him? All right.
All right.
Sorry for barging in. A bit late for introductions, I expect. What? You haven't told them about me yet.
I can't tell them what you haven't told me.
So, can I assume that you are one of us? That is, we too stand alongside Count Luis, but how to say it?
I think you and I were after the same thing in old Luis's room. You really weren't told.
In this house, Cormac McCarthy is a hero. End of story. Oh, really? Okay, Austin.
Don't tell me you're the other Agent Grius mentioned.
Grius. Is he the one who died at the Grand Cathedral? I'm sorry. They kept the finer details confidential, so I never really knew who the other agent was. But I understand the objective well enough. The curse on His Highness the Prince can't be lifted by conventional methods. So we either kill the caster or get the formula.
I see.
Wow.
So you and Grius were the two prongs of the operation.
Just to put it into perspective,
He hunts the caster.
how little we should actually listen to anything that a European has to say about anything. If you sort GDP per capita, America's poorest state, Mississippi, where the GDP per capita is $51,000. Mississippi is still richer in GDP per capita than the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and Japan.
Right.
Canada and Germany barely go above Mississippi, just by a little bit, but the second poorest state of West Virginia is still ahead of Canada and Germany.
Oh, big country. Pam Bondi is the Attorney General in Florida under DeSantis, and she was Trump's attorney during the impeachment trial. That's most of what I know about her.
Ever since the King's magic made it impossible to kill Luis, I've been ready to meet up with a new contact. I just wasn't expecting one so young. If I hadn't learnt the fairy messenger's name was Gallica, I'd never have realized it was you.
I'm pretty shocked myself. I never figured the big famous songstress would be on our side.
You know, I'm not, and I never will be in this position, so it's hard to judge. But it blows my mind how lazy these elected officials are. Like, are you following the drama around all these open judicial spots?
No.
Well, basically, Democrats, well, there are like 40 open judiciary seats right now. And Democrats were trying to go ahead and we're trying to push as many over the finish line as possible before Biden leaves office.
Right.
But the thing is, Republicans could theoretically block it, but they weren't able to because there was this one Republican senator, I can't remember who it was, who wasn't showing up to the vote. So the vote kept ending 50-49 instead of 50-50. And Kamala is currently on vacation, so she could not have broken the tie. So if every Republican had just showed up, because Sinema is also voting no, they could have had 50-50 deadlock. But because he's not showing up to work, they're able to get their judiciary appointments through. But Democrats also don't want to show up to work. So in order to basically allow Democrats to get their appointments without showing up to work, Schumer cut a deal where some of the seats will get filled by Trump when he takes office, as long as Republicans just allow these some of the appointments to get through quickly. So it's like on one hand, you have a Republican who doesn't want to show up to work to cast the deciding vote, but then Democrats don't want to show up to work either, because in order to get all of these judiciary picks through, they would need to be like working overtime in the next couple of months. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you have the easiest job in the world.
Yeah. It really is crazy.
And I thought you and Luis were... you were his...
I like this tweet. No Country for Old Men being about a badass veteran roaming the countryside fighting off Latino villains while trying to get back to his 16-year-old wife. Makes a lot more sense now. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. I saw a post talking about the whole thing, which I really think summed up that this is just retarded bullshit. I don't even know why the fuck people are freaking out in the first place. So, girl gets orphaned. Cormac takes care of her. Waits until she hits the legal age. Then propositions her, but tells her, you know, you're under no obligation to accept, and I'll still take care of you if you don't.
When you've so much to lose.
Accepted, and then, you know, they were together for a while, but then she decided she wanted to leave anyway, and when she did, he continued to take care of her, and he even paid to send her wherever it was that she wanted to go. And she was recounting the story because she was looking back on it fondly.
Yeah.
Now that she's in her 60s, and people are like, oh my god, you were abused. It turns out he was a super predator. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? He did literally everything correct, and you're still gonna demonize the guy. Unbelievable.
I requested to join. When fate beckons, one can't just turn her away.
The lesson that teaches me is that
This seemed like a chance for a once-in-a-lifetime inspiration
want to,
for my art.
then you never should do the decent thing, because they're never gonna care.
There is a trope on TV tropes called no good deed goes unpunished.
All that just so you could grow as a singer.
I saw that one too.
And fearless to boot.
And when I was reading that, the only thing I could think is, holy shit.
You all have something like that, don't you?
He was right.
A devotion that anyone else might see as foolish.
The girl's bold as brass. No wonder she's got all the crown's subjects by the heartstrings, eh?
Well, half of it might be because of my birth. A Nydia girl's got to be bold to step out into this world at all. Though it's hard for most people to understand why. Singing is everything to me. To truly stir even a single soul. I'd take that over 1,000 of the church's accolades.
And I am so tired of every time I see a white person say something negative about white people on social media, it always ends up actually being a Jewish person. Every fucking time.
I mean, that is very much an old tradition, I think. That is something that happens quite frequent. I think that's been going on for like 10 years.
Sorry, say that again?
I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like I've seen that exact scenario a lot. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah. Because it does happen a lot.
Sure, fine by me.
Everstein, Stingelberg, Timowitz.
Exactly.
Glad to meet you as a proper comrade.
Man. Apparently people are getting banned so quickly on Blue Sky they have to come back to X. And Rob Reiner was posting over there earlier, I don't know if you saw it, complaining about how all the trolls just went over to Blue Sky and it's just as bad as X now already.
That is outstanding. Between that, between that, and all the reports for the child porn, because all the fucking leftists and LGBT folks, as soon as they get their own segregated environment, suddenly they all start diddling kids. Like, Jesus Christ. We can't stop winning, man. My God. No, these people are freaks, and they're actually in a hell of their own making. It's unbelievable.
Oh, right. Let's decipher the formula we
Oh, and Rob Reiner posted on Blue Sky earlier today that I guess he's checking himself into one of those. It's not an insane asylum, but it's like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like a rehab facility, but you're not a drug addict. You're just really, really mentally fucked up.
I feel like I sent you a link about that, or at least I was thinking about doing it.
Maybe I saw it from you.
Let me see here. It was exactly the thing that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, I take 100% credit for bullying libtard Rob Reiner into going into a mental rehab facility.
Okay.
And then then it was this thing, and it was like I wanted you to watch the video in addition to the tweet because it was Trump saying that he's the chosen one.
Yeah, I saw that. You're right. Okay, that's where I saw it.
Oh man,
what a
mess! Just like I was. Exactly. It's just like I was saying to you yesterday. Where it's like you ever have one of those moments you see something great and you want to share it with me, but then you find out I'm the one that gave it to you.
Yeah.
And I constantly have that with you where I'm, oh man, Joker would love this. You're the one that sent it to me. That's funny.
Man. You know that, oh my god, what a masterpiece that's green screened Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Somebody should do that, but use the green screen to make it the Derek Chauvin. Somebody must have already done that.
After the attack on His Highness, we sent for the kingdom's best healer.
It's even on brand because Hulk Hogan used the N-word that one time.
Hold on, the best healer in the kingdom? That attack was over 10 years ago. That so-called saint looked about my age.
Rella was a prodigy. One of the most gifted at the Mage Academy. Even as a child, she outclassed her teachers with an igniter.
Wait, you know her?
I'm afraid she's a bit out of our reach now, though. She left a while ago to return to her work at the royal capital. We couldn't manage such a trip under Luis's gaze.
Well, a trip to the royal capital would hardly put us out. We'll just pip over with a bit of magic. No, really, it's dashed convenient.
There are some conditions, but we could travel instantly to a few specific places.
Well, no sense waiting. Let's be off. Right. All yours.
You actually did it! We're at the royal capital! Wait, how did you do that?
Don't shout in the streets, would you?
How can I not? Do you know how incredible this is? What are you people?
Hey, look! Isn't that the songstress?
It is! It's the Lady Tuna! Oh, I've always wanted to shake her hand.
And look at this. How is that? How is this Star Wars?
Oh hell.
The price of fame.
What?
If word gets out that you were seen here, it'll be hard to explain yourself later on.
Guys, we knew that the construction of the Death Star was behind schedule 40 years ago.
Is this
Hold on.
going to be a show about how he has to do like fundraisers with celebrities to raise money? Is he going to start
Apparently.
like doing those fucking George Clooney $40,000 a plate fundraisers?
Yeah, that is the most fucking insanely retarded thing. Return of the Jedi came out in 1983. So 41 years ago, you remember when Darth Vader shows up to the Death Star they're building it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm here to put you back on schedule.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then he's all like, it's not my fault. I need more men. And he's, you know, maybe you can tell that to the Emperor when he arrives. The Emperor's coming here. Oh, we shall redouble our efforts. 41 fucking years ago. And they're like, let's make a show about how surprisingly the Death Star construction was behind schedule. Really?
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're at now.
In episode 3, he hires Elon Musk to increase the efficiency of the Death Star construction.
Jesus Christ, yeah, pretty much.
If she turned down that prestige in the name of helping the common folk, then I suppose she really...
Who's going to want to watch that, man?
So wasn't he the bad guy? Why are they making him the guy who's concerned about efficiency here?
Well, I mean, Ben Mendelsohn's a great actor. So maybe they just want excuses to use him more.
Come on, let's hurry on.
What if Matt Gaetz gets another role, like he becomes something that doesn't need to be confirmed by the Senate, like special counsel or something?
Outstanding.
That'd be pretty funny.
What do you make of all this, Captain?
Which one of these is your favorite?
It's tough.
If we ask her to decipher the curse, we risk exposing
They're all
our
wonderful.
identities and
Yeah.
our aims. Do you trust?
But I wish that Orthodox wife Jack, the shawl that is very obviously around her neck, but not actually on because they wanted to have her hair unrestrained,
right,
was actually on.
Let's get on.
Ugh. But if I had to choose only one, would probably be Orthodox wife Jack, because I could almost certainly just get her to do all the other things too.
True.
Just a sec.
I can't believe. What now?
Close your eyes.
Let's go.
Oh God.
Terribly sorry. Putting some elixirs away. Be wait.
If Matt Gaetz really did have sex with a 17-year-old, I think that's awful, and I completely disavow him. Unless the 17-year-old girl was hot, of course. Something like that, Austin. That sounds about right to me. I don't really know much of anything about Laura Trump, though. I do find it interesting that there are people in Trump's family that hate him. Like, there are actually a couple that just, for whatever reason, did not bark up the same tree.
Hello. How can I help you? Juna.
Long time no see. Sorry for all of us storming the place.
And you.
Like, what's the name of that one niece he has, Mary Trump, that fucking hates him? I think it was Mary Trump, yeah.
Right. Now that you all know each other's names, Rella is my older sister. Adopted sister, that is. Her family took me in. Though don't spread it around. The public doesn't know, and we don't know who tried to exploit it.
It's been forever, Juna. I'm so sorry. I really was planning to meet you after the opening ceremony.
I understand. You were attending to Sanctifex Forden in Tilbrile Haven. But that's wonderful. Such deft social climbing even puts father's efforts to shame, eh?
Ugh, social climbing. Glad to make your acquaintance. I am Rella Cygnus. I'm a healer. But somehow, I doubt that's why you're here.
Actually, there's something we'd like you to look at.
Where did you get this?
I know it's asking a lot, but could you share anything you know? Without asking too many questions?
I've seen something like this before. I'd never forget. Objectively speaking, the magic involved is a direct inversion of a healing spell, popularly known as a curse.
Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, the Lakers lost, looks like, at the... Yeah, they lost with 3 seconds left.
Oh, that's funny.
Franz Wagner hit a step-back three-pointer to win the game.
That is very funny.
I suppose that stands to reason.
Pardon the late introduction.
Oh, that explains it. LeBron scored more than 20 points this game. If they do that, the Lakers lose every time. I don't know why.
He's like Rajon Rondo now.
I guess.
Hold on. The death of His Highness was a tragedy. When I would see
D'Lo 1 for 7 from 3. Somehow he's going to get blamed, even though LeBron is playing when he's 40.
as his royal guard, it is my duty to punish the
Just retire, old man.
responsible. Then surely the man who penned this was Luis.
And you pay me back with non-stop ass rape.
Look, what happened at the exhibition? We were trying to get closer to Louise. You're a holy woman, so I couldn't ask your forgiveness. But if you could at least understand...
Oh, wow.
The Lady Joanna's penitence was sincere.
Anthony Davis is fouled with 20 seconds left in the game. Lakers are up by 2.
That was what scared me.
He missed both free throws.
That's cold-blooded, man.
Then they lose on a step-back 3.
But I'm a bit relieved. I heard rumors Luis had swept you off your feet and you'd been hanging on his arm since.
That's pretty hilarious.
I see now I needn't have given it a second thought.
Of course. I am Giovanni Cygnus, and my life is...
Yes, your life is your own, I know. Just make sure you're not causing trouble for everyone else.
Maybe LeBron should try to score 8 points in every single game he plays for the rest of his career.
That would be very funny. Franz Wagner drills that game winner in Cam Reddish's face. That's pretty funny.
What a great name, Franz Wagner. That's a great name. Well, I mean, it depends, big country. A lot of people think that Democrats have basically decided that they're never going to nominate like a straight white man again. And if that's the case, they're putting themselves at a great disadvantage if they're only going to ever nominate, people, non-whites and women. Like that's something that's really hard to win with. 1 second. All right, we are back. So it's been a while since we played EU4, but what was that thing where you could basically take over another country, but they'd still like have a country? They would just be like a vassal state to your country. What was that called?
Well, it almost sounds as if you're literally talking about vassalization, but there are other methods in which someone becomes your subject,
Mm-hmm.
serving a function very similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe it was just called vassalization.
Well, yeah, if you expand more on why you're bringing this up, I could probably help you find what it is you're trying to say.
No. I was just trying to remember what that is called because I was thinking, like, what is stopping Russia from just doing that to Ukraine?
Oh, well, yeah, that would be vassalization. Turning them into a puppet government kind of thing. What that would be is making them a satellite, a buffer state, where Russia would just completely occupy the country, and then they would replace the government with one that was loyal to Russia, and they would say, okay, so now Ukraine serves as a buffer state, which is essentially what happened during the Cold War, where you had the Warsaw Pact nations like Poland and Czechoslovakia and Hungary that had been occupied by the Soviet Union in their march westward during World War II. And after Germany surrendered, the Soviets didn't just give the territory back. They said, okay, we're going to give the territory over to loyal communist governments because we don't want to get invaded by the West again. So if we do go to war with the Allies, then first you have to march through Poland and Hungary and Czechoslovakia and all these other countries where they're the ones who are going to suffer and not us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that mindset, in terms of foreign policy, is the whole reason that this war is happening in the first place. Because Ukraine was trying to join NATO, which would mean that NATO was right on Russia's borders. And they're sitting there like, we, the Russian people, have wanted a buffer state between us and the countries that want to invade us for centuries. This is why in that Tucker interview you had the famous meme where Putin starts like, okay, let me explain why I invaded Ukraine. It all began in the year 600 AD. And like it's a fucking hilarious meme, but genuinely exactly. Where they're like, we want to have a buffer state between the Russian people and the West, who has historically been our enemies, so that if you guys try to invade, it's not us and our people who are suffering, it's going to be the buffer state. What you did is, which is, brutal and it sucks, but that's the way of the world. And when they received guarantees in the 90s that something like this would never happen, and yet here we are now. And what's even worse is that Putin called their bluff on this kind of shit decades ago when he was president the first time. Putin first became president of Russia in the year 2000. And during his first term, he actually approached, at the time, President Bill Clinton with the proposal that Russia would join NATO. And Clinton, along with all of his, the people in his administration who had anything to do with foreign policy, like Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, CIA head, blah, blah, blah. All those guys, they basically laughed at the proposal, and they said the quiet part out loud, which is that NATO, as an identity, as a function, as a group, is specifically there to oppose Russia. But if you win the Cold War and the Soviet Union is gone, and now you have a weaker Russian Federation as the successor state, and these people are not hostile towards you, they want to be your trade partners, they want to be allies with you, they have no grudge. Why would you continue to treat them not only like shit, but treat them as your sworn enemy? It doesn't make any sense. So instead, all you've done is just continue to shit on these people for 24 years until finally they snap. What you expect was going to happen.
Plenty of assassins have come for Luis.
You know, like I was saying this in the politics channel to somebody else.
Even if we do we stand a chance? The man's an
Says
unparalleled
Origin 1751. I don't know if that's the Origin who's normally in the streams or if it's somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Maybe it is. No, assuming that he's here, then he'd be able to pipe up and say that it's him.
I don't think he's
But
here.
anyway,
I haven't seen him tonight.
Fair enough. But, you know, whether it is or not, the important thing is what I was saying, which is that, you know, Russia's got a right to exist. And a lot of people who say that Ukraine has a right to exist does not acknowledge that Russia has a right to exist too. They have a legitimate axe to grind. They have a legitimate reason to have invaded. This isn't just a land grab. And dismissing their legitimate concerns as being Russian propaganda is nonsense. Because they're not sitting there saying, all the world belongs to Russia, and then you clap along like a trained seal. What they're saying is, we had assurances for decades that NATO was not going to go on our borders, and Ukraine specifically would never be allowed into NATO. And this whole thing started because you were trying to allow Ukraine into NATO. Not only that, but you've been repeatedly hostile and aggressive towards us for no reason. We're constantly being sanctioned by you guys. You're constantly trying to make our economy suffer. And on top of all of that, here in this part of Ukraine are a bunch of ethnic Russians who were living there before you guys arbitrarily decided that's the new country. And you gave them Ukrainian citizenship and everything, but the Ukrainian government has been slowly genociding these people for years. They voted to join the Russian Federation before the war started. And then after the war started, when we occupied that territory, they held another referendum and voted yet again to join the Russian Federation, but now you call it illegitimate. So, like, if anything that we do is wrong to you people, then obviously we're just going to do what's right for us, regardless of whether you like it or not. Any country on Earth would do the exact same thing. But the people who support Ukraine can't see that. They can't acknowledge its legitimacy. So then we're on the brink of nuclear war, which is insanely retarded.
Well, no point getting reckless now. Let's think about this some more.
That's where we're at. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I respect Russia a hell of a lot more than I respect the United States. Because the incumbent government of the United States does not respect their own people's right to exist. Russia at least does. So even if Russia is my enemy, even if Vladimir Putin wants me to die by sheer virtue of the fact that I'm an American citizen, and not a Russian one, you know, I can understand that. I can understand his perspective. But my own government, which is supposed to protect me and look out for me and care about me and my well-being, similarly wants me to just drop dead. So why would I care about what they want?
These sound like the words of a man who's planning to run in 4 years.
Always been my dream.
Let me see here.
Fly on wings, you see. Not with any of this magic levitatory. But then in you come with this teleportation. Made me start wondering if there was any.
That is absolutely not true.
The thing is, I do think that Newsom and Trump are friends outside of politics. Like, if you remove the political stuff, I think they actually like each other. But the politics stuff obviously takes precedence over that.
Right.
A long while back, I did a flight experiment to prove my theory was sound. Failed spectacularly, though. And got myself all crunched up in the process.
Really, I don't know why people feel so threatened by him.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I just don't see him winning a federal election. Because this is where the Democrat apparatus, as it is right now, works against him so heavily.
Yeah.
By virtue of the fact that he's by virtue of the fact that he's a Democrat, if you ask Democrats if they would vote for him, their answer would obviously be yes. It doesn't matter if they actually would or not. And because he's insulated in his bubble in California where it's impossible for him to not be popular, he's just going to write off any opposition to him as being, whatever, they're just Trump supporters. That's the majority of the country, buddy. And a hell of a lot of states out there are extremely hostile towards California politics and the idea of a politician from California running the entire country. And he's not going to realize that until he actually gets out there in the primary and gets fucking humiliated.
Yeah. I think he's like the definition of a Democrat politician that is DOA because he's a white male. And he also is unable to project any of the qualities that you need to overcome that. Like, he looks like Patrick Bateman.
Right. And that's what I mean. You know, the Democrat apparatus works so much against him. He's going to think that he can succeed because they're going to be, you know, he's perfectly insulated from criticism. But when he actually runs in the primary, just like you said, he's going to get killed because he's a white man. Mm-hmm. But here's the even bigger problem. That might actually make him electable federally, just if the policies weren't such complete ass piss. Mm-hmm. Whereas what the party would do is select someone like Kamala who checks all their boxes, and there's no fucking shot that the country's going to vote for that regardless of policy. But then when you add the policy on top of that, it becomes the biggest ass kicking in the last 40 years.
It'll take time, no doubt.
Well, it's just extraordinary how the Democrats have assembled themselves this powerful coalition that got Obama elected with this amazing mandate. And all these years later, that coalition is flying apart at the seams to the point where no one in the party even looks electable anymore.
Right.
Outside of their own little locality where they're just in an insulated bubble. By virtue of the fact that he'd be the Democrat candidate, Gavin Newsom is guaranteed to win more states than just California, but he would not win a federal election. As the 45-47 Trump coalition conquered the Obama 44 coalition, we need to wait to see what actually happens while he's president, but I believe so.
I mean, clearly the reason why Trump has now been president twice, or will be president twice shortly here, is that he got a lot of two-time Obama voters to vote for him. Both times.
Yes.
Really?
Okay, hopefully Austin feels better, because I think he was feeling a little ignored, poor guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do think that there are some people who voted for Obama twice, voted for Trump, and then voted for Biden because he was Obama's VP, and then voted for Trump again. And they're detached from a lot of the stuff that people like you and me are thinking about and aware of. They're just like, hey, I like that Obama guy. Oh, I like this Trump guy. Oh, I like that Biden guy a little bit more. But I still like that Trump guy. They're a little bit detached from the viciousness of it. They just kind of vaguely have a positive feeling about Obama, Biden, and then Trump.
Okay. So I finally got a response from my mentor after I sent her another email, like, hey, what the hell? So she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I must have missed your email. To be fair, she responded 3 minutes after I sent the email yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But because it had already been 2 weeks that I hadn't heard from her, I thought it was going to be fine. Snacks was talking about Russia, it's okay. Yeah. You know, we're not trying to ignore you, just often I'm not in the channel, so if Joker doesn't say something in direct response to you, I'm more often than not, I'm not going to say it. But anyway, so yeah, she responded quickly, and she said, I want to be above a 67% satisfactory academic progress in order to maintain my financial aid.
Right.
And I'm, without having completed successfully a term or a class last term, and without having completed one this term either, I'm at 71% satisfactory academic progress. So I only need to hit the minimum of one class completed per term,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be fine. So I was panicking, thinking I had to do 4. You remember?
Yeah. How did you misjudge that?
Because I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had to ask her, and then she showed me their whole paperwork thing. So I'm like, oh, all right. Obama built an impressive coalition that looked unstoppable. Then Trump built one of his own, just as impressive. Are you referring to the voter coalition, or are you referring to the actual people trying to get things done, like Obama's legacy and the shadow government that he's been running for the last 4 years?
I'm pretty sure he means the
Compared to,
voters.
if you just mean the voter coalition, then that one's really easy to answer. He won with such a huge mandate in 2008 because a lot of people were, they were so euphoric at the idea of defeating racism for all time by voting for the first black president that you had crazy shit like Indiana voted for Obama, which will never happen again. But then in 2012, Obama narrowly beat Romney. But even then, it was already showing the trends shifting towards what would give us Trump's victory in 2016 and 2024, which is again why 2020 is so heinously suspicious, because all of the math tracks along an actual trajectory from 2016, 2018, 2022, and 2024. But 2020 alone is just this complete batshit insane nonsense that defies all logic and reason.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the Trump coalition, it really looks like it kind of is that mythical multiracial working class coalition where working class people of all races actually showed up for him. And the idea of a multiracial working class coalition was always kind of a meme, but Trump actually made it happen.
2008 was going to be a Democrat year. If Hillary was a nominee, she would have won. I agree. It's hard to say for certain for me. There was a lot going against the Republicans in 2008, so it was highly likely a Democrat was going to win. But we now have 2 elections with a Democrat nominee being a woman, and with what we've seen as the response, that we can conclusively say that white people will vote for a woman and think that it's a great thing to do, but minorities really struggle with doing that.
Except for black women.
Really. Well, yeah.
Right.
Black men massively broke against Hillary in 2016 and Kamala in 2020. Kamala substantially more so. Hispanic men did the same thing, where again in 2024 was even more pronounced, to the point where a Republican won the majority of the Hispanic male vote for probably the first time ever. And Trump, men and women both, so the entire ethnicity, won the Native American vote. There's a number of other ethnicities. They massively went towards Trump because for a lot of minority groups, culturally, they don't trust a woman being in charge. They don't like the idea of a woman being in charge. They want strength and virility, which obviously a man is going to give you, even if it's the most effeminate man that you can think of. These are people who would have voted for Pete Buttigieg before they voted for Kamala, as an example. So Hillary in 2008, she would have had that going against her. But at the same time, the Republicans were catching the humongous bowl of shit from the global financial collapse. Plus, Bush was extremely unpopular, and McCain had a lot of that too. But Bush was already unpopular when the whole thing started the year previous. And McCain at one point was leading in the polls against Obama. So really, it was the economic collapse that obliterated McCain's chances. But if people really thought that they're like the only thing that would make things even worse would be if we had a woman here, because and again, you had a ton of working class whites who were so happy to defeat racism once and for all by voting for Obama, but like there wasn't that same push of, oh my God, we can defeat misogyny. Like that wasn't even remotely close to being the primary concern among the populace. You know, we were still 10 years away from that kind of heavy shit. So it's still more likely than not that she wins because of how bad the economy was. But there is no shot that it's the overwhelming victory that Obama had. There is no reality where it's a landslide. So if she wins, it'd be close.
Right.
Yes, substantially so, Austin. Because he stoked race riots at every opportunity. The fact is, unless you live in Florida, no one in America should have even heard of Trayvon Martin. Because it was a cut and dry, open and shut case of self-defense. On top of that, George Zimmerman was Hispanic. And after George Zimmerman, they actually started changing government forms to say non-Hispanic white. George Zimmerman gave us the idea of Hispanics being white.
Right.
That's how bad race relations got because of Obama.
The culture of the world is one of freedom in all things. No faith, fealty, or philosophy enforces ideology. All are free to create, and all are free to embrace those creations. This culture's influence spreads throughout the world. It is even said that a song of peace was powerful enough to bring an end to war. How inspiring. It's hard to imagine that a single
Sounds like she's mixing mac and cheese. Jesus Christ.
I wonder what the world would be like.
The fact that this was posted on Our Teenagers, this is the most batshit insane, completely fake, and he did this because of some weird fetish that he had.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like my Masato copy pasta.
Right. Why would he do that? 44 should have been the prime example of the American dream. It's so sad, but he's a secret Marxist. Well, the reason that he did it, very early on in his administration, along came this thing called Occupy Wall Street. And the way that they shut that down was by stoking race relations. So, when you think about the fact that Obama is extremely corrupt, and all he wants is to become rich and have corrupt money, and that he was controlled by the banks, it becomes really obvious why he would do all that. He stoked race relations specifically to increase the control of the most powerful people in the country, because everybody would be focused on race relations instead of the people who were actually responsible for all their problems. However, as so often happens throughout life, that ended up backfiring tremendously because the people who were responsible for so many of those problems all happen to be part of the same group that also controls all the banks and the media.
You know, the thing...
And by making by making race relations worse, it just made it so that it became more and more acceptable among certain people to just come right out and say it. It's the same people who were fucking responsible for all this shit happening all the time. But I can tell you this definitively. If it weren't for Obama stoking race relations like he did throughout his time as president, we wouldn't be at the point where we are today, where Adolf Hitler is actually more popular in America now than Winston Churchill is.
Like, the funny thing is,
that never happens if it wasn't for Obama.
when Obama ran in 08, he was running as an outsider. That was his draw. It's like, oh, here's a guy who's only served 3 years as a state senator in Illinois. Like, he's brand new. He was running as an outsider. Like, how crazy is that now?
Right.
That was like his big draw. He's like, oh, he's not like these other politicians. He's different, and we need to do something different. Like, I wonder if Trump just destroyed the entire concept of the political outsider forever. Because, like, Romney was an outsider when he ran for president. George W. Bush was an outsider when he ran for president. Like, I don't think those, people like that. And the reason why I say that is because Bush was a state governor. Mitt Romney was a state governor. They were divorced from what was going on within the country at that point in time because they were only in charge of their own states. So they can run as an outsider because they can say, whatever you don't like about the country right now has nothing to do with me because I've had no power over the country at all because I've been a governor. I don't think that's going to work anymore. I feel like if you want to run as an outsider, you have to be coming completely out of left field now, like Donald Trump did. So I don't feel like the outsider thing is going to work as well as it used to. Like, that was kind of the big battle in 2000. You had the outsider candidate in George Bush, and then you had the insider in John McCain. Because McCain had served in the Senate for, I think, let me make sure here. Yeah, he had served in the Senate for 12 years before he ran for president in 2000.
Right. Yeah, definitely agreed, because a great way to look at it is consider Ron DeSantis' primary. He also, if you were still able to do that, he would have been able to say, look, I'm an outsider. I was the governor of Florida. And what did I do? I bucked the trends and I did things as governor of Florida that plenty of other states did not do. We had a completely different policy compared to everybody else to COVID. Our economy is great. Our COVID numbers were great. While the whole country is struggling, Florida's doing amazingly well. So he can run as an outsider. He can run as a competent administrator because of what's happening in Florida. But what ended up happening? By running against Trump, the true outsider, DeSantis very quickly became the establishment candidate because the Koch brothers and lots of the other guys who support the neocons just descended on DeSantis, and they were like, you're our guy, and they did everything they could to prop him up. Then suddenly the alleged outsider starts putting up all this complete horse shit that it felt so inauthentic, which you could tell his heart wasn't in it. And that's why he was so happy after he dropped out. He was just forced to do all this shit because, well, he's their guy now.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything that you were saying, completely correct.
Austin, Bush was always the favorite in 2000, but McCain did win the New Hampshire primary by 19 points, which was a shock. But Bush was the favorite throughout. He was always going to win that nomination, I think, because McCain was also trying to run as like a centrist. He was like a moderate. Even compared to Bush himself, who really was not that extreme on most things. Like, Bush was not far right at all. But McCain was still running to his left.
I'll make sure everyone hears that in my songs.
I still remember in 2008. And this is why I thought that the shit was always so completely bonkers. Anytime they'd say some crazy bullshit from then on. Because I remember seeing this in 2008. When social media at the time was trying to push this idea that Bush was not going to leave office. He's going to declare it's an emergency to suspend elections because of how important fighting terrorism is. And they're going to replace the stars on the flag with a cross. And he's going to become president for life. And I'm all like, that's the most insanely batshit retarded. And I remember that stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
And here we are, we get to now, and then they say this stuff, and they're like, no, but take me seriously this time. This time it's really, really happening. I'm like, it's not enough that they're completely batshit insane, but they think that we're all so incredibly stupid.
Well, Austin, I mean, there's a difference. The reason why he was guaranteed the nomination when he announced he was running is because he's really popular, right? It's earned. That's not the same as Joe Biden running as an incumbent this year because the Democrat Party was basically saying, if you try to run against him, we're going to destroy you. We're going to destroy your life. Like, RFK wanted to run for the Democrat nomination earlier this year, and the Democrats told him, if you try, we're gonna destroy you. And Dean Phillips actually did try. He was the one guy who tried, and they did destroy him. There's a little bit of a difference there. Like, I think, and I guess people could disagree, but the Republican nomination process this year was fair. Like, anybody could have won it. Trump won it because he's the most popular. Now, maybe Biden would have won a fair nomination process, but you can't tell me what they did was fair. It was a very much intimidating people out of having the opportunity to even compete for it.
And the traitor Luis in second, despite not actually being in the race. But in third, we have the warrior monk captain, Master Guido. Furthermore,
yeah, I'm looking right now. Bush won the Iowa caucus with 41%. McCain got 5%. But then McCain won New Hampshire. Bush won South Carolina. And then McCain won Michigan and, of course, Arizona. But then Bush won Virginia. And then he won most of the states on Super Tuesday, and that was it. Like, there used to be a whole thing when you're putting together a presidential ticket. You want one person to be an outsider, and then you want the other person to be an insider. And it's okay to mix and match who it is, but you want both. I feel like that's probably not the case anymore. Because I don't consider J.D. Vance to be an insider. He served, like, not even one full term as a senator.
Right. Did you vote for Bush? Right guy.
Yeah, not even close.
If he was at the very least 18 years old in 2004, he'd be 38 right now.
Right. Both Harris and Walz seemed like insiders. Well, Harris is definitely an insider. I think Walz is actually an outsider because he's a governor, right? He's the governor of Minnesota, and I don't think most people knew who he was before the VP thing happened. I think
and
that
now the only thing
unknown.
we know about him is that he's a homosexual.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, his wife is really pissed off. She loved the power of being on the trail of running for president, and is Lady Macbething the hell out of Walz to run in 4 years.
Yeah, I believe it because she was a huge bitch and extremely annoying and very loud, and oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
What's your point? I dare say that's a relief.
I don't think I've ever hated someone more because of who they were married to since Bill Clinton. My God.
Funny how it's only the rich who miss how things used to be. But now Count Luis has the people behind him. He'll save the common man.
Yes, we're all keeping our
I would love Tim Walz to run for president in 4 years. That'd be hilarious.
We do have one standout who's seen a stunning jump in popularity since the exhibition.
Like, this is what's sad to me, is that the simple fact is somebody's got to win that nomination. So, like, at the end of the day, somebody's going to win. But if you think about every Democrat politician in the country who could even conceivably run, it just seems like everybody's trying to outdo each other and who could lose the worst, you know? Like, okay, who's going to be the first one to drop out? We don't even know because they all suck so much ass.
Yeah, but there's a lot of time between now and then, right?
Which is very true.
Like, it could end up being somebody that comes out of complete nowhere. Like, it could be Perez, Marie Gluskamp Perez. And I know that sounds weird, but she's a Democrat that's actually proven she can win in a rural county.
Bro, I'm fucking dying. I took a look at the comments on that tweet that you most recently sent me, the weird masturbating material, and I love this fucking reaction. The guy posted in the comments. Oh man. That's fantastic.
Is it just me, or does she look completely different now? Like, I understand that this is 35 years old, basically, but I would not be able to, like,
You
identify
can
that.
see you can see the foundation in there, but it really underscores that she's had plastic surgery. It would have to be. Because man,
So it really was all talk then. A disgrace to the roots, huh?
yeah, like her eyes look so different. Now, of course, having said that, after all the plastic surgery, you know, she looks very regal.
Right.
Whereas she just looks like a normal person before. You know, which certainly isn't bad. But, you know, she really does look like, you know, she could have ended up being Paul Atreides' mother kind of deal. And you know what? She is.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Oh, man. Did I make up for my number 46 by voting for Trump 47? Yeah.
I mean, this is clearly the better timeline.
Yes. Yeah. With the benefit of hindsight, if Trump actually won in 2020, I really can't imagine us being in a better position than we are right now. Because I mean, obviously things wouldn't have sucked as bad over the last 4 years, but like the future for the party would be bleak because they basically just ran out the clock on MAGA. There's no actual heir.
Right.
Bobby Ferguson running for president.
I mean, Jay Inslee ran for president in 2020. He just didn't make it very far. So I guess he could, like, put together a campaign, but probably not, no. I really feel like in 4 years on the Republican side, everyone's going to get out of the way for Vance. Like, some people say Youngkin might run. I don't think so. Youngkin could be like a VP. I don't know if they want to double dip on 2 white men, but I mean, they did it this time and it worked.
Exactly. Well, I wasn't going to say anything else, Austin. It's fine. Anytime I see the name Ferguson, the last name Ferguson, what I think of is the immortal Norm Macdonald. Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live, when he was pretending to be Burt Reynolds,
Mm-hmm.
and he changes his name to Turd Ferguson.
Even if he does plan to take over, suppose he's still not eager to play by their rules.
So anytime I see the last name Ferguson, you know, because I was going to say to Ryger, could you see Bobby Ferguson running for president? I was going to say no, but I could see Turd Ferguson running for president.
Yeah. Have you been following any of the drama around the "just a chill guy" meme?
No, I've not heard of this at all.
Okay. So there's this new meme that has come out in, I'd say, the last couple of months, but it's really blown up in the last few days. It's called "Just a Chill Guy." Here, let me
Lakers missed 9 free throws in a game they lost by 1.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't seen that meme I just linked you to?
Let me see here. Oh, I've seen that dog character specifically, but I have no idea what the fuck it's from. I've only seen people posting that dog character. No words or context or anything attached. Just the dog. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, basically that means you're just a chill guy.
Okay.
But anyway, so the dog comes from, I guess, this artist who made it. And I guess he realized how the meme is like taking off. So now he's like suing everybody that's using it, and he's trying to figure out how to make money off of it. And now the meme's basically like dying because this guy's decided to be an asshat.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I heard some nobles say she had
So if I had to guess, it kind of sounds like you're essentially describing another version of the Kevin James meme.
A little bit, yeah.
Now, at long last, we are ready to announce their next challenge. This time, the task for the candidates is recovering and offering a divine relic.
What? A relic?
Don't worry, we're happy to explain everything. You'll not want to forget this, so we've arranged for you to hear it from an unforgettable voice.
One sec. Oh yeah, so I wanted to ask you, off topic. Are you interested at all in Stalker 2, which just came out recently?
I have no idea.
I don't know
would
much
need
about
time.
Chosen heroes! Your next destination is Altaberry Heights, the capital of the Principality of Montario. You are to gather there by the deadline, with a divine relic in hand to offer the Sanctus Church. Tragically, there are still heathens in this land who choose to reject Sanctism. They care nothing for salvation. They cling to strange idols, calling them divine relics, believing them gifts from their eldritch gods. But their rituals are unstable, and their relics just primitive magic tools. It is time we put an end to this misguided witchery. Take these relics from the pagan's grasp and bring them to the birthplace of Sanctism, Altaberry Heights in Montario. Please deliver them to their rightful place in God's hands.
Saying snowball is fun ball. This guy responds, he says, imagine an NBA game with snow on the court. I voted for Pete Carroll in the primary. Based. Unironically, it would be insanely based to have a 9/11 truther as the president.
Remember the Grok story that I had written where when Hillary Clinton lost to Trump, she was videotaped calling, and then when the tape leaked, she ended up winning the Republican nominee 4 years later. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god.
I pray for your success.
I think most far left states have the jungle primary, right, guy?
Got a real presence before a crowd, doesn't she?
What is this some insanely based new form of racism I'm missing?
No, the jungle primary is where you can vote from, like, in the primary, they just list out all the candidates and you can vote for any one, and the top two vote getters are the two you pick from in the general, even if both are from one party.
Yeah, Democrats love that.
Focus, Iceland, focus.
By the deadline of the second round, Alterbury will begin the festivities for the Autumnal Ontario Saints' Day. This two-day event kicks off on Saints' Day Eve, with the main celebrations on the day proper.
Well, statistically speaking, Austin, I'd say if you go to like June or maybe even a little before that, like maybe April or May, about 55 to 60% of people who claim they're going to vote third party end up voting for one of the two main candidates. Because as the day of the election gets closer and closer, those people start to chicken out because they realize, wait a minute, I actually want my vote to mean something. So it's not really that surprising. Most third-party voters do not hold their third-party vote by the time the actual election's here.
That makes sense.
Like, I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to look it up right now. I'm pretty sure that the third parties candidates in this election got less than 1.2% total. It was very small. And if you held a poll months ago, third party candidates would have accounted for like 6 or 7% easily.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize this, but the 76ers officially have the worst record in the league. They are 2-12. No team in the NBA has a worse record. And in fact, Paul George was quoted as saying earlier this morning, when he was asked about how they started at 2-12, he said, "We really got to step up our shit. Jared McCain can't be our most consistent player."
They're unabashedly ordering them to steal
That is insane.
land now. That's plunder. They would steal our very culture.
That candidate's a
By the way, Jared McCain is the guy they drafted.
No wonder he's so aghast. Forden's stooping to a new low.
So they paid the fuck out of Maxey. Embiid is one season removed from an MVP year. And they just paid Paul George a shitload of money to leave the Clippers and play for them. And they have the worst record in the league, and the only guy who's playing even half decent is the guy they drafted.
What a time to be alive.
But in our case, we won't even know what we're doing until Luis gives the order.
Either way, we're bound for Alterbury. It's further east. We've a long trip ahead of us.
What's even funnier is that Miami really needs a point guard.
Shoulder
because we are desperately missing an actual point guard, and have been for a while.
Yeah.
And Jared McCain was taken right after us. We picked 15th and took Khalil Ware, who, to be fair, he's been playing all right. But then 16th is Jared McCain, and it's like, man, probably could have used that kid, because Bo seems really determined to just constantly play Bam at the center, which makes a lot of sense because Bam does not have a three-point range. In the modern NBA, your power forward has to be a three-point shooter. So I mean, you know, you do the best you can with what you have. That's what happens when your center's 6'9". But we still need a point guard, and forcing Hero to do it is just making us so much worse.
Is Lowry still on the team, or is he off the team now?
No, we traded him along with some other pieces for Terry Rozier last season.
Yeah.
So it was at least a 3-team trade. It might have been 4 teams. I can't remember. But Lowry ended up on the Sixers, who he's still with, by the way.
Oh, really? He's alive?
Yes. Yes. And Rozier has been by far the worst part of the team for the season up to this point. So I think we can definitively say that picking him up was a total and complete failure, and we just need to cut this turd loose.
Hey, JS, how you doing?
Pat does not believe in building through the draft after Michael Beasley.
Right.
And he is not going to believe in making big trades after how that's worked out for us over the last few seasons. Pat is very quickly just approaching, if I can't get an absolute fucking grand slam in free agency, then just pack it up.
I mean, I get it, but I really don't think it's a good strategy to just say fuck them picks. Like, you can build through the draft. You just need to not draft Michael Beasley.
What are you planning to do?
What? Do you need to hear it repeated? I will give Forden his death.
And what of the king's magic?
You'll see soon enough. For now, you need only follow my orders.
Bro, this is hilarious.
Your task is to obtain a certain divine relic on my behalf. The artifact in question is a lance known as Dracodius.
Dracodios. The Draco implies something to do with dragons, I presume?
Suffice to say, the lore behind this particular relic intrigues me. You will acquire it in time for Saints' Day.
Mike Tomlin has been losing to terrible teams his whole career. It's like his Achilles heel. This is not new. This result is not that surprising.
Rest assured, my other agents have their own relics I've assigned them to pursue. I've no urgent need for this lance, nor for them, should they fail.
I'll go along and keep an eye on them, shall I? You can bet that if they try and run off with the relic, I'll put a stop to it.
You certainly are attached to them, aren't you?
Well, it's their first formal assignment in your service, after all.
I mean, one factor is that the Steelers owners are actually some of the poorest owners in football. They don't have the money to fire a coach and then hire another one. Like, they don't have the funds.
So be it then.
Let me finish chewing it all. I just thought of something really funny.
So, my lord, where can we find this?
Find your clues elsewhere. You have nothing further from me. Prove you think as well as you fight. May we both
The only team in the NFL that doesn't inevitably fire their black head coach ends up being the cheapest owners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's funny. Checking this thing out right now. Apparently, Tucker Carlson did an interview with Don Jr.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Well, in the interview, they were talking about J.D. Vance, and apparently, Don Jr. is the reason that J.D. Vance got picked as Trump's running mate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sending you the tweet right now so that you could watch the video clip if you wanted to, but the money of it is this paragraph right here. He said, I've had a lot of these Republican donor class people come up to me, which is really stupid of them. But they're like, Don, I was MFing you for like 3 weeks about that decision because I really wanted XYZ to be VP.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, you were right. The only one that mattered, it was after the VP debate. I had like 12 missed calls from my dad. That's usually not great. And he just gets on the phone and he goes, Don, I did that for you, Don, but that was a 10. A huge win in Trump world is like a 6.
All right then.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That VP debate may end up becoming one of the most important moments in American political history because they spent so much time trying to convince people that Vance was like some extremist weirdo that no one would ever vote for. And then in 1 hour and a half long debate, he just, I think, won a vast majority of people who watched it over.
He got Tim Walz so flustered that he accidentally said, I've become friends with school shooters twice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I beg your pardon, but you have business with me.
I'm just.
Hey, listen. Huh? Okay, so... Hey, listen.
I'm just incredulous.
Huh. Wonderful.
All right then. Go.
Yeah, I mean, Tomlin has clear problems, but that's not the team that needs to be thinking about firing him. Again, they can't afford to fire him. And he's got the team at 8-3 when they don't really have a quarterback. Like, that's really, really impressive.
Yeah, and that this was an extraordinary performance out of the Browns. You can't give Tomlin shit for that. Because if the Browns just played the exact same way they have all year, if they were playing Deshaun Watson, or if this was just the coin flip where it comes up that Jameis is going to play like absolute dog shit tonight, they'd be 9-2 right now. So people are suddenly talking about firing Tomlin? Really?
Yeah, I mean, he got extended this offseason, right? So, what, the Steelers are going to give him a contract extension and then fire him a few months later? No.
Yeah, we're not talking about the Jets here. This is a franchise that actually has a history of winning.
Yeah, the Jets would have fired Tomlin a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Now what am I to do? Stop!
Man, I love that video where they had the guy doing the Biden impression was the father, and the guy doing the Trump impression was the mother. And they're all like, "You are gay. We've known that you were gay. You being gay has shattered this family, quite frankly." Oh man, that was so funny.
Yeah. And that's a problem. There's very high unemployment among the blacks. The blacks. We're going to get them working again. Remember when they used to work?
Some of them sometimes they even worked for free.
Oh, man. 1 second, guys. Okay, I am back. Oh, fuck me, Snacks. Have you seen the Minecraft trailer that came out like 2 days ago?
That movie hasn't even come out yet. Fully fuck. No, I haven't. This is the first one.
Okay, hold on one second.
Minecraft.
Let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah. Fucking watch this shit and tell me what you think. Like, how is this real?
Oh, they went with children yearn for the mines meme. Oh,
I
no.
know. I can't, like, the person who came up with that meme must feel like fucking Oppenheimer right now, thinking about what he's created.
Now what am I to do?
All right then.
Young man! Young man!
Whoa.
Man. That obese black woman is hideous.
I can't believe this. He would have them all take what they please. This same atrocity all over again. Damn him. And damn his crown theocracy.
Man, just think about the lines that are going to be in that movie that you just know are going to be there. Like the creeper coming up behind somebody and he's right behind me, isn't he?
Then he explodes and they go, well, that happened.
He's in quite a state. Though I can hardly blame him, with everyone ordered to ransack his homeland. For now, how to approach him?
God, that looks like absolute fucking shit.
I know. It's like, how the fuck, man? How did that happen?
Wait. You're not with the Sanctus Church. One of the few who aren't, it seems.
I don't know much about divine relics, but I know all too well what it's like to see your homeland threatened.
The divine relics are symbols of our faith. More than that, they are the soul of our culture, our history.
Followers of the old native beliefs worship idols that are known to conduct magic, which they call divine relics.
But I think May is the second best rookie quarterback. He's not even the second best rookie quarterback on his own team.
But unlike the igniters of modern times, they are primitive in make and function, and often dangerous. So said my studies, at least.
Oh, far from it. Divine relics aren't primitive in the least. That's just Sanctus propaganda. Really, it's the opposite. Most of these relics are powerful beyond belief, and igniters are just our crude imitations of them. If you'd ever seen one yourself, you'd know the difference.
They don't call them divine for nothing.
You know, they actually do have a second rookie quarterback on that team, fucking Joe Milton. So your statement actually kind of works.
You're that songstress. Didn't expect to hear all this from you, after what you said for the crowd.
Big Country, who's the first best rookie QB?
Pagans aren't the only ones oppressed by the church.
You really are well informed. And it sounds like you know something of oppression. Did you perhaps come from the Mage Academy?
Is it Bo
Details,
Nix?
darling. I've seen abuse of powers before, and I'd rather not see it again.
The other candidates seem bent on taking relics by any means necessary. But you all seem different.
To be fair, we are looking for one. The only relic we know by name right now is Draco Dios.
The Lance of the Dragon God. So that's why you came up to me. I suppose anyone would want our homeland's greatest treasure.
Hey, spell Bo Nix, Big Country.
Truly,
More like
I
throw
hope
picks.
mainlanders come by the scores to see it.
Exactly.
Our village is on an island in the world tree's embrace, where the dragon god sleeps. On a clear day,
I think we can all agree that Caleb Williams is a bust.
Looks like you should have Roe v. Wade yourself.
Exactly. Obliterated. You love to see it.
An island across the ocean. You mean Virga Island, then? It is a large island in the inland sea. Most of its inhabitants are Mustari, and it remains the only place in the land where sanctism has not taken root.
I'm not out to abolish sanctism myself. I just don't want everything we believe in to be destroyed.
So that's why you're in this race.
I thought I could change the world. And then I saw the truth. What a fool I was. I've not introduced myself yet, have I? My name is Edeni. Take my advice. Forget about Dracodios. We can't hand it over, and you'll never reach it anyway.
We don't intend to take it by force.
Even if you did, you'll not find any ships that sail there. And that's only the first obstacle in your way. Take my word. It's no place for an outsider. It's time I stopped chasing a fool's dream. I need to face reality. And if you're smart, you'll do the same.
Well, sounds like Draco Dios is on Virga Island somewhere.
Is there really no ship passage there? This is the biggest port in the kingdom.
'Tis true. His words reminded me. Thanks to both sea currents and cultural tensions, the only merchant ships passing Virga Island embark from Montario.
But Montario's on the other side of the bloody sea. You can't seriously be suggesting we go there first and then loop back to Virga. We'd never make the deadline.
Then let's ballywell conquer this inland sea ourselves. Ha ha ha! Don't worry, chums. I'm on the job.
You worried about Lady Juna? Actually asking this time, not just prodding.
Shut up.
Tell. You still don't trust them, do you?
How can I? We've only known them for a matter of days. Look, the whole Gladell mess, you really think they're innocent?
Then let's go with them, yeah?
Oh, really?
Me and you.
JS. Wow. Crazy.
You do whatever makes sense to you, Del. You know I'll follow wherever you go.
You know,
Today is the anniversary of JFK getting shot. Wild.
How about that?
What the?
Wait a second. You're not saying this thing can sail now?
Quite right. While you lot were hobnobbing at old Luis's soiree, I had his runner all to myself. And believe you me, I got quite an eyeful. Came away full of ideas. After all, this old girl wasn't designed as a land runner alone. All about modular design, don't you know? Flexible jointage. So I did a bit of tinkering.
But why? We'd not even spoken of the island until moments ago.
Island Schmyland, milady. Look at the map. What's our shortest route to Ontario, eh? A straight shot through the inland sea.
Huh. The man has a point. That never dawned on me.
We know you're gay, and you're destroying this family.
Besides,
You being gay has shattered the family, quite frankly.
you'll need more than a ship for these waters. You'll need a proper sea runner.
Oh, right! Eurus, you weren't at the exhibition, so you wouldn't know. Forden already killed the big sea monster out there. It had a huge head.
Really? Don't tell me you're making the trip in that.
Why are you two here?
Bodyguard duty, Lady Juna. We're along for the ride, especially since you're bound for some remote wild island.
I don't know who Darren Rovell is, JS, actually. I'm not sure who you're talking about. He tweeted out his assassinate. How does that work? Yeah, JS, I'm out of the loop on that one. I don't know what you're talking about.
These poor newcomers are working so hard and you still can't trust them. Or is it me you don't trust?
We're here on Master Luis's orders. I'm sure I don't have to outline the pecking order there. Or do you have a problem with us being around?
Yeah, I don't know who Darren Rovell is, JS. That's I'm out of the loop on that one.
Rather, we're running short on beds.
Oh, don't worry. Dell doesn't take up as much space as me.
Oh, belt up. Besides, you really expect this rust bucket to survive a night at sea?
If you don't like it, leave. Nobody's forcing you to come.
Looks like we're crewmates then. Nothing like a sea voyage for a bit of fun, yeah?
This is a fine mess. Wasn't expecting them along. What do you think their angle is?
They probably still suspect us.
I agree. We definitely crossed a line with the whole Gladell incident.
Suppose that's that, eh? I'll do a last check on her amphibials and make sure she's shipshape. Give me a shout when you're ready.
What now?
Alright, guys. That's going to do it for tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. More stuff going on tomorrow. Everyone have a good night.